Hi there, and thank you for clicking on my video. This is a requested video. We are going to be covering basic builds for brand new players so they can have something to follow, so they can just start equipping, know what mods to look for, so they can get to enjoying Warframe without having to learn too many basics. So just this is what you can equip. It'll give you a good time and it will allow you to enjoy playing Warframe as you go. So we're going to rapid fire this for your frame, and this is for any of the starter frames, Volt, Excalibur, Mag, just whatever you decide to pick, you're going to enjoy it. As you're playing the game, you might not have all of these yet. This is for this explanation is for players that are thinking of picking up Warframe or are in the middle of doing Vor's Quest and just want something to look for when they pick up these mods. This is what you're going to put in. Okay, so if you pick up an Aura mod early in the game, it does not matter what it is when you are first starting out. You are going to slot it in the Aura mod slot, which is unique to this mod, and you are going to max rank it, regardless of what it is. The very first one you pick up off the ground, you're just going to put in here, and you're going to boost it up to, you're going to level it up to 5, because when you put an Aura mod in here, it's going to give you capacity. So it's going to allow you to slot more stuff, and it's just, there's really no reason not to when you're first starting out. So the next thing is going to be, we're going to try to make you as tanky as possible, and with that, you're going to need to mod shield capacity, health. So let's go over the names. Redirection for shield capacity, vitality for health, steel fiber, and these mods might be what you have. If this is what you have, this is what you're putting in. The flawed mods. So if you have a flawed mod, you're just going to put it in anyway. As long as it gives you armor, that's fine. So shield, health, and armor. You're going to see a running theme with that. Next, you're going to equip Equilibrium. The one that you're going to get is going to be a flawed one, and it's going to have 5 ranks. You're going to want to upgrade this also. Fast Deflection and Rush is a nice utility mod, makes things a little bit quicker, allows you to sprint faster, makes the gameplay a little more smooth. And the last one that I would recommend, and this is the flex slot on here, is going to be Stretch, because the enemies are so weak. You just want to be able to hit more of them. But don't focus on upgrading this all the way. What you're going to upgrade as you're slowly upgrading. Oh, and the final one is Thief Sweat. This is just going to highlight loot on the map so you are able to pick up more stuff and you'll be able to see it on your mini-map. You're going to upgrade your redirection first. Not all the way, but you're going to get about 4 ranks into it. And then you're going to put 1 or 2 levels into Fast Deflection, and then you're going to start upgrading Redirection, Vitality, and Steel Fiber. If you happen to get all of these, the shield, health, and armor in the flawed mods, go ahead and upgrade all of them to 3. Okay, so if you get all 3 of these, upgrade all of them to 3, it's perfectly fine for now. Equilibrium, another solid one. This allows you to pick up health and energy orbs, and if you pick up a health orb, it gives you energy at the same time, and if you pick up energy, it gives you health at the same time. Very, very good. It's going to allow you to get health and energy in a much more consistent and easy way. So, pretty basic. And shield fast deflection increases how fast your shield regens. So you're not having to wait for it to charge all the way back up, and then something clips you and stops your regen, and then you have to wait for the recharge again. Just makes life a little simpler. You're going to notice a running theme with this. So shield, health, armor. Equilibrium is a utility mod. Fast deflection, get your shields, which is where you take your damage first. Rush is utility. Stretch is, for now, a flex slot. Anyway, so let's move on to the weapons. Primary. You're not going to have all of these to start out. You're going to pick up a couple. Maybe you don't get all of them, but most of these mods are available in the first 4 planets. Serration, you're definitely going to get pretty early, but it's going to be a flawed one. Go ahead and upgrade it. So you're going to equip these top 4 mods are going to be fairly consistent across all of the builds. Serration is your base damage mod. Fire rate is called speed trigger on your rifle. And then we're going to do something called modding for corrosive. Okay. We're going to add an electricity mod, which for rifles is Stormbringer, and for infected clip is going to give us toxin. And when these combine, they give us corrosive. And this is going to be very consistent across all of the builds. So in order for you to get stronger faster, you need to upgrade Serration, Speed Trigger, and Stormbringer and Infected Clip when they drop. You'll probably get a Speed Trigger and Serration fairly early. And just when you get these, throw them on. The bottom row is going to be stuff that drops a little bit later. Maybe you'll get Hellfire pretty early also. And Point Strike drops a little bit early. So the final 2 that are probably going to take a bit is going to be the multi-shot and crit damage mod. Split Chamber is multi-shot. It's a direct increase, and as soon as you pick this up, you'll put this on last when you're building, because this is an expensive mod capacity-wise. But make sure to put this on. Crit damage and crit chance is how you're going to do more damage with your critical hits. So pretty simple. Vital Sense, Point Strike, they work together to boost the base damage, or the modded damage of your weapon. So 34.5. These will work together when they crit to increase that. And Hellfire is just sort of a flex slot, but the combination of corrosive and heat is very, very effective. We're not going to talk about why. But corrosive heat is an excellent combination to just have on your weapon. Pretty basic. Base damage, fire rate, mod for corrosive. And when you get the multi-shot mod, that goes on there also. And crit damage, crit chance. And then if you final slot is going to be heat, if you have all 8 of these. Okay, we're going to go under the pistol. It's the same thing, but the mod names have changed. Okay, this is the exact same build, but the mod names have changed. Base damage on a pistol is called Hornet Strike. Fire rate is called Gunslinger. Electricity is called Convulsion. Pathogen rounds is Toxin. Barrel diffusion is multi-shot. Target cracker is crit damage. Pistol gambit is crit chance. And heated charge is heat. And this is going to be, it's the exact same build as the primary, but the mod names have changed. Top row is super important. And as you pick up the bottom row, you'll start working on that. Get Hornet Strike about halfway up. Say maybe 4 ranks. If you have a flawed one, you're going to equip that. Because there is a flawed version of this. Go ahead and upgrade it. And as you pick up the other stuff, if you get a flawed version, I think there's a flawed Convulsion and Pathogen rounds. Same with the rifle, but it's RNG to get them. You're just going to put them on and you're going to upgrade them as you go. So you'll get the top row, flawed mods probably. And as you go, just make sure to mod this top row the same across everything. Make sure you always have corrosive for now. And then as you pick up the bottom row, make sure to put that on as you go. But the bottom row, even if none of these bottom ones exist, the top row is going to get you through the first 2-3 planets. So, similar build. Let's go to melee. We are going to do the same thing. The mods are going to do the exact same thing, but the mod names have changed again, but the philosophy is the same. So we have base damage again, which is going to be on every build, but for melee, it's called pressure point. Again, where on primaries and secondaries, we would have fire rate because it's a melee, it's called attack speed. The mod you are looking for is called Fury. We have a new mod now because we don't have multi-shot on melee, really, where you attack twice at the same time. There is something called a multi-hit on a stance, but you can't mod for it besides changing the stance. And with this, we're going to have our first sort of like new unique thing. On melee weapons, you might not get this stance mod super early, but keep an eye out for it. The starting melees is you get the choice between the Mark 1 bow or a sword. Okay? If you pick the Mark 1 bow, you'll be able to get the stance mod way earlier. Nobody tells you this, but if you pick the Mark 1 bow, you'll be able to get the stav stance significantly earlier. If it doesn't match the polarity, which it probably will, you're just going to equip it, and like the aura mod on the frame, you're going to upgrade this to level 3, and you're going to equip it. Even if it doesn't match polarity, which is what this red number is, you're just going to equip it anyway. So the same thing, let's go for the modding again. Base damage, attack speed. We're going to have corrosive over here. Now, I was able to get the flawed mods for this. I didn't sell them. But this is the mod that you're going to be getting. Flawed shocking touch for electricity. Fever strike for toxin, which is going to combine and give us corrosive. So we have base damage, attack speed, corrosive from these two mods, and we're going to have a new mod also called range. And you're going to upgrade this as you go. It's very cheap. It's 3 ranks, but it increases how far an enemy can be from you. It increases how far you reach. Thus why it's named reach. So before, an enemy might be 3 meters away and you could barely hit him, but if an enemy was 4 meters away, you couldn't. So equip this. This is going to be your core 3. These 3 stats are going to be on every build you're going to do. Base damage, attack speed, range. We're going to mod for corrosive again. Crit damage and crit chance are still on the build, but they have new names. Crit damage is Organ Shatter. Crit chance is called True Steel. And there are flawed versions of these, and I still have mine. You're going to put these on, and you're going to upgrade them once you get the other mods upgraded. So there's a flawed pressure point. I don't think there's a flawed fury. Range is just 3 ranks. So base damage, attack speed, range is what you're going to mod for every single time. And then we're going to put corrosive on. And then you're going to do crit chance and crit damage next as you level up the weapon. And then the final slot is going to be status chance for now. But this is a good first 2 planets, first 3 planets. You should be able to put something like this together. So if you're just starting the game out, this is what you're looking for. All right, let's go on to the Sentinel. This is going to be your first companion. You're not going. Most of these mods are drops, but there is a good chance you could get most of these by the time you finish the first 4 planets. So a lot of this is more of a shopping list of things you're looking as you drop, or as they drop. So let's take a look. This is going to be built like a Warframe with a couple of exceptions. So we have armor again, shield capacity again, and health again. These 3 mods are going to go on here. As you pick these up, make sure to put them on your Sentinel. Now, when you build the taxon, which is going to be your first Sentinel, they're going to give you molecular conversion, and I would highly recommend equipping this because it gives you shields, and assault mode. And for the time being, I would recommend not upgrading this at all. Maybe put like 1, maybe 2 ranks in it at most, but don't upgrade this all the way because you'll need the capacity. But make sure to upgrade molecular conversion. We also have repair kit. This is really likely to drop. Put 1 or 2 ranks in it. Guardian. When your shields run out, the taxon will boost your owner's boost the owner's shields. It will recover you the percentage displayed, that percentage of your shields. The next mod is going to be Mediray. When this drops, make sure to put it on. And this will allow the Sentinel to occasionally heal you for the percentage displayed. So at rank 0, it's 2% of your health over 4 seconds, so really low. But if you upgrade it all the way, it's significantly better. The next mod, if this drops, is called Regen, and this will respawn your Sentinel. Should it die, it'll explode, and then it'll come back with a brief invulnerability period. Put like 1 rank into this at most. That's all you need for now. And finally, when this drops, literally stop what you're doing once you get out of mission and equip this mod, and you are going to max rank this. Okay, it's a mod called Vacuum. Okay, and what this does is as you run through the mission, this mod will allow your Sentinel, when it is alive, to pull ammo and resources to you for you to collect automatically, instead of you having to run around and step on stuff. So this mod is a big time saver and will allow you to pick up stuff through walls. If it's something on the other side of the wall, it's a perfect AoE, 11.5 meters at max rank, and you're going to equip this. So this mod, even on this brand new person's build, you're going to max rank it. Okay? It's super important that when this drops, you remember it and you go and pick it up. Okay? The other mods will probably take longer. Molecular conversion and assault mode, you get to start out. So just go ahead and equip these 2. The rest of this needs to drop. So when you build the taxon, molecular conversion and assault mode are on. Upgrade molecular conversion. When you get the chance, you put it into a preset mod down here, or a preset slot, which is this mark right here, the vertical line. Match it up so it turns green, and you upgrade it when you can. Okay. So that's the basic build. Let's talk about the Sentinel weapon. Again, just like the pistol, just like the primary, it's the same thing, but we're not going to worry about crit this time, because this weapon is super weak. You're just going to use it for MR, base damage, fire rate, and electricity and toxin to give us corrosive. And that's all you're going to care about. The only other mod, when it drops, and these are all rifle mods, they share the same mods as your primary if you're using a rifle or a bow. Okay? They don't share the same as shotguns, but if you're running like a primary, like the Mark I Bratton, it's the same mods. You don't need extras. So base damage, fire rate, electricity, and toxin to give you corrosive. And the final one, should it drop and you have extra capacity, I would honestly recommend putting Hush on here if you have any extra capacity. Reason being is that when the Sentinel shoots at something with its weapon, the Artax, it will draw aggro and the enemy will try to kill it. Okay, even if you're not near the enemy per se, but it's shooting at them anyway because it's ranged, it will draw aggression from the enemy and they will target it specifically. So Hush can help it survive a little longer than it normally would. It's still going to die eventually because it's kind of squishy, but Hush can help that a lot. So all of these need to drop. None of these are anything that's given to you from a quest, so you're going to have to keep an eye out for it when it drops. Serration you'll probably get a ton of. Speed triggers likely also. Stormbringer and Infected Clip, just keep an eye on them when they drop. And Hush is good also. Okay, let's swap over to a Kubrow, because that's slightly different modding. Because they don't have weapons. Okay. This is a little bit simpler, but again, we're not going to worry about the mods that the game gives you for now. But because it depends on the animal that you get, because it's an RNG related thing, so we're not going to talk about those. But the same is going to be as with the Warframe and with the Sentinel. We have health, enhanced vitality, shield is calculated redirection, metal fiber is armor. Same thing like on the frame itself. Health, shield, armor. Okay, this goes on here. And the other mod, and these all have to drop. The next mod, when this drops, and this is probably going to be something that if you've gone through Earth and you've killed the dogs, the feral dogs, you might have one of these. So keep an eye out for it when you finally do the Kubrow quest. But fetch. It's a bigger version of the vacuum on the Sentinel. Okay? It pulls ammo and resources that have been dropped to you so you can collect them. Super nice to have. And it has a 2-meter bigger range. Okay? The next mod, and this is going to be something that's going to drop, keep an eye out for it, is called Loyal Companion. Your pet is probably going to go down, but the benefit of using a Kubrow for the time being over a Sentinel is where a Sentinel will just explode, and you can't do anything about it for now. A companion will go into a state called bleed out that will allow you to revive it. This increases the amount of time that you have to go and get the pet so you can recover it. Makes it pretty nice. So say you're in like a gun battle with like 3 or 4 enemies, or you're distracted by something, say you're hacking. This will make it so you have more time so you can complete more tasks before you have to pick up the pet. So pretty nice also. And there's another one, and you're going to keep an eye out for this when it drops. You do have the possibility of getting this somewhat early. It's called Pack Leader. When you melee something, this allows you to quote-unquote lifesteal and give health to your pet. Great for keeping it alive. So keep an eye out for these mods. But it's the same thing as a Warframe. Health, shield capacity, armor, a vacuum, bleed out, and Pack Leader. Pretty simple for now. Okay, let's go over some other things, because you're going to be as you unlock and do the quests. So if you're brand new to Warframe, you're basically done for now. I'm going to cover the other quest stuff, and I'm just going to briefly go over it. The Archwing. Okay. Pretty basic. You're going to do an Archwing mission when you're getting it. These are the mods that you're looking for. They don't give you any mods, so it's going to have to be a drop, like an enemy's going to drop it. Or maybe you get it from the mission itself. But it's the same thing that we did with like the Sentinel, the Kubrow, and the Warframe itself. The same philosophy. Health is called Enhanced Durability. Argon Plating is called Armor. Or Argon Plating is Armor. Energy Inversion is Shield Capacity. And where we had Fast Deflection on the frame, on the Archwing itself, we have Superior Defenses, which gives us the shield recharge. Allows us to tank more faster. Okay, and then the other one I would recommend is Energy Amplifier. Increases your range, always a good thing. Make sure abilities last longer. And then Auxiliary Power, it allows you to bring more energy with you. Now, what are the 3 things you're going to focus on? Basically staying alive. Okay, so shield capacity is going to go to 3. Superior defenses is going to go to 3, and then you're going to upgrade at the same time. Health and armor, so you can be as tanky as possible. So the shields are what's going to take the damage first, so we want that to be nice and beefy. And then we want our shields recharging as fast as possible. So first things first, put points into this, and then do 1 and 1 into health and armor. So pretty simple, just like the Warframe. All right, Arch Guns. This is an example of a build. All of this needs to drop for you. You're not given anything, so keep an eye out for it. Okay? Where, like on the primary and the secondary and the Sentinel weapon, base damage is called Rabido Lined Barrel. Fire rate is automatic trigger, and to be honest, you're probably not going to get this for a while, but just keep an eye out when it drops. Okay? And again, we're going to do the Toxin Electricity combo to give us Corrosive. Electricity is called Electrified Barrel. Venomous Clip is Toxin. And then the final one for our element to give us heat is going to be Combustion Rounds to give us our Corrosive Heat combination. And then to round it off, the same thing as before. Crit chance, crit damage is called Hollowed Bullets. And to be honest, this might be something that's a little later in the star chart, but just when you're running Archwing missions, keep an eye out for it. When it drops, you need to equip it. Parallax Scope, you'll probably get it somewhat early. Crit chance goes to 100. Hollowed Bullets is crit damage. And the final one, which is probably going to be the last one you're going to get, or automatic trigger for fire rate, is dual rounds. It gives you multi-shot, like on the primary and secondary, the diffusion mods. So this is an example of a build like this. It's the exact same setup. Corrosive Heat, because most of the stuff that you're going to be shooting at is armor. There are going to be a couple shielded units, but behind the shield is, armor. So even you don't have to worry about modding past this. Just keep an eye out for when this stuff all drops. Pretty basic. All right, last one. Arch Melee. Exact same thing. Exactly like modding for the Mark 1 bow or the Skana. The same philosophy. Base damage is here, called Cutting Edge, so look out for when that drops. Furor is attack speed. We did the Toxin Electricity combo again to give Corrosive. Heat is going to be Blazing Steel to give us the heat combination. And Extend is our range. So these 6 are super important. Start with the top row. When you get them, make sure to equip them. And then the bottom row is as you fill in. So Blazing Steel gives us heat to give us the Corrosive Heat combo. Extend gives us range and something called attraction range. When you're flying around, you'll notice when you get close enough to something, you'll sort of like teleport to it and like stick to it. This is increasing the range of that. Super nice, but not as nice as having more damage. And then Temper Blade, like with the melee build, is crit chance. And then Bleeding Edge is crit damage. So pretty basic. It's going to be damage by volume for a while for you, but they'll be equally weak. So as you upgrade, you go to Cutting Edge, attack speed, and then do the top mods, Electricity and Toxin, to give you Corrosive, and that will give you a lot of bang for the buck early on. But this would be an example of a build that you could scale into, and it does pretty good damage as you upgrade the mods. Just make sure to start with Cutting Edge, Furor, so by the Cutting Edge and Furor at the same time, and Extended, and then these two, the Toxin and Electricity, get upgraded as you go to further boost your damage. And then start working on the bottom row. Crit damage, crit chance, and then heat last. So there you go. I hope this helps. And let me do one quick thing if you've gotten this far, because I have Forma into this. Your build is not going to look exactly like mine. When you're modding, when you match up and you see when we take this off, you'll see that some slots, some mod slots, have a polarity. Make sure to match them up. Like you see how this turns red? If there's a slot that has the same image where this one is Vazarin, make sure to put it in. Because look at the capacity cost, which is what this number is right here. It says 5. If I move it to one where it turns green, green means go, drop it in, and look how it's 3 capacity. It's cheaper. So make sure to put that in when you're modding. If you have a busy mod setup, make sure that all of the mods that match the same polarity are in those polarities. And it will help you with your mod capacity issue. Because that's going to be an issue for a while. But again, you're going to have fewer polarities, just whatever comes with the frame. And the top, the aura slot, I know on Excalibur it was, because that was my first frame. But Excalibur, when you first get him, does not have a polarity. So any mod that you put in the aura mod slot, that is an aura mod. Any aura mod that you put into an aura mod slot is as good as any other one for the time being. But you'll probably get Physique first. Just put it in, rank it up to 5, and it'll give you some health tank, and you can just keep going. So, pretty basic. I hope this helps. Questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comments section, but I think this is about as simple as I could make it. I want to give a shout out to Espresso Bear and Sunker for helping me distill this down with the appropriate mods and whatnot. So, thank you guys. Have an excellent day. Take it easy.